Science squared?
Nah, bro, it's close square.
Really? I think it's 10 actually.
Nah, it's not. It's actually fine.
Nah, you got it all wrong. You got it all wrong. It's
True science squared.
Oh. That's good. Hey, what rice did you have last night?
Oh, I have fried rice. You have fried rice.
And long rice.
Oh, did you? So anyway, I was on Neopets the other day. Oh, really? Oh, cheating.
I had Neopets.
Very, very.
It's just the other hand. Hey, that's the intro.
I know, because it's so not sweet.
It's so good. As portrayed in the previous scene, racism and racial hatred is everywhere. It can have very devastating effects such as lower self-confidence and sometimes suicidal emotions.
poor Kevin. Poor Kevin.
Racism is clearly expressed in a variety of texts such as Snow Falling on Cedars, where Kabuo Miyamoto is actually racially segregated and accused of the murder of Kyle Hine just because of his racial ethnicity. Because he's Japanese and we were bullied because we were Asian. Kelvin and I decided to investigate this further, and we're going to do that through a few interviews. So for the protection of the interviewed people, we're going to be using fake names.
Okay, so what do you boys think racism is?
Like, when people call us goods, they're like, go home.
How does that make you feel?
It's really sad. I was crying before.
So how do you feel towards it?
I want to be a racist too.
So people, what is racism?
How the hell should I know?
That's racism. Why don't you like Asians?
Mainly because they call
Isn't that just a stereotype?
No, it's actually quite true. Whenever my brother or someone is driving and someone cuts in front, most of the time they're Asian. I have to say.
But people.
And also on the streets out there over in Carver Crescent, there's like cars parked on one side of the lane and then you gotta like squish up, but they drive down the middle of the road and like ram the shit out of you if you stay still. So, sorry, I'm some shit. I said it again.
What's the most extreme form of racism that you've ever witnessed?
Or performed?
Formed?
Yeah, sure. Most of it's in movies, man. I don't really do much about it. I just call people niggas.
Alright.
What's up, G? No worries.
Okay, so what's your views on racism? Well, my views on racism. Amen to that. Amen. So you think racism is a good thing? Oh, sure I do.
Why is that?
Oh, I got a good joke, you know. Say if an Aboriginal without a slipper comes up to you, you tell him, hey, you lost a thong, mate. And he goes, nah, I found one.
I don't find that very funny.
Yo, bitch.
It's rather, put it there. It's rather racist.
Yeah, isn't that what it's all about?
No, I'm trying to find out why you're racist. Why you're racist.
Oh, mate. Oh. See, like, look at the Aboriginals, right? See the Negroes in America, African Americans, they're good at basketball. See the Maoris up in old New Zealand, they're good at rugby. And you see the Aboriginals, what are they good for? What does racism mean to you?
I don't know, to me I suppose it's fairly foreign. I know it exists, but I find the school pretty tolerant, so Has it ever happened to you outside of school?
Not
So
Not directly.
you're rather sheltered?
I've seen it aimed at family members. I mean, my dad's Greek, so obviously I've seen him cop a little bit of racist flack, words like lol and all that kind of stuff. But it's been fairly detached.
Okay, Nathan, so what do you think racism is? Racism is when you're very mean to someone who you don't like.
If you don't look at your card,
Perhaps. I really don't know whether they don't like me because I'm Asian or whether they just don't like me. Being called a boy, I expect that you guys experienced a lot of racism. So what do you think it is?
That's racism right there. Oh shit, I call him Avi shit. Oh my god.
Guys, so we're experiencing
shit.
We're experiencing racism.
It's not racism,
right
this is what this is.
So it's alright to denigrate someone of the same race. So it's alright to do that. You think it's alright?
What do you justify this upon?
How do you guys call each other niggas or wiggers?
They said love hurts. I wrote that book. You just came around to say hello.
Have you experienced any racism in your classrooms?
Only, I think, it's always presented in a jovial form.
Oh, joking.
But,
Particularly in this school.
yeah, where the kids are generally nice to each other, but they do refer to each other as curries or whatever. Or Asians.
AZNs.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. So, have you experienced, what are your concerns on the stereotype of Asians, concerning maths? Any concerns there?
No, not really. It's just be perceived as something that comes from a cultural background where their families have a view that academic performance is a good basis for their future endeavours, and mathematics plays a part in that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get to the man himself. The boss.
So, could you give us a definition of racism?
Racism occurs whenever anybody forms a negative impression or discriminates purely on the basis of another person's race.
So, do you find are there any concerns with racism involved in your classroom?
I've not observed much at all in the way of racism within this school, no.
So, about your views on the majority of the school, the majority of the school's race and Asian.
What's the problem with that?
No problem, just what, are there any concerns or?
Well, I certainly have no concerns about it.
As you can see in the two texts, racism is not a good thing for society. It hurts a lot of people, and a lot of people get hurt. Like your friend Shrek here, he was once hurt by racism in primary school, and you can see how he turned out. So obviously that's not too good. Obviously it's a reflection of improper morals in society. So racism shouldn't be part of society. Look at that kid. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face.
Kelvin and I decided to do racism because it's clearly expressed in Snow Falling on Cedars because of Kaburo's Japanese descent and how it's accused of Carl murder. Love that. And yeah, after interviewing a lot of people, we found that not a lot of racism is in Borco, but it still exists in the world. We see the Asian drivers, they can't really, I don't know, they're good at driving. I don't think they're good at driving, but people think that they drive. They even made a movie of them, like they made Tokyo Drift, and they say that Asians can't drive, but look at Tokyo Drift, they fucking drift everywhere.
That's a good analogy.
So in conclusion, I think racism is just stupid. Like I don't know where people got it from. Like Yeah, so what? You're black. You got, you know.
Hey, tell them the baking joke. The baking joke. The just
I
right.
actually don't know the rating.
Oh, okay.